guys. Whew. So we've had a really interesting week and weekend. Eliza got her teeth pulled on Thursday. She's now in the car and says we're going back in time to get to where we are today. So we go. Her dentist office has us go to this place in Strip Mall, and it is a very small building. But when you go in, it's not so small. The outside of it is for sure. But so we go there. We're way early. When I mean way early, like we're 10-15 minutes early. It's kind of what you should be anyways, so that we can fill out paperwork. And we get there at a little before 11:30. Mind you, we live 45. We live an hour. No, it's an hour and 10 minutes or 5 minutes away from this place. And we get there, we start filling out paperwork, and 11:30 rolls around, and we're supposed to be in this pre-op appointment. Nothing. So then, it was like 12 something, almost 12:30 comes around, and the lady like says, "Oh yeah, your guys' appointment, your post-op appointment will be soon." It was supposed to be at 11:30. Okay, I'm being very patient at this point. I take the paper back up to her that I filled out, and she says to me and Eliza, she goes, "Oh, they'll take you back here in a couple minutes," which we'd already waited forever. And then she goes, "But your parent has to wait in the car." I'm confused as to why I had to wait in the car, so I said, "Well, I'm not comfortable with waiting in the car." And I'm like, "What if something happens?" She said, "Well, we'll call you." Oh, okay, well, that doesn't make sense because I'd be right outside. What in the world? Why can't I just sit in the waiting room? You're not allowed to sit in the waiting room. And that doesn't make sense to me. Whether your kid is really young, older, it doesn't matter. You should be able to sit in the waiting room. So then I asked her about like what happens because normally when a patient, your kid or whoever it may be that you're there for, has their surgery, and then they go to a room and you can wait for them, and then you can be there when they wake up. Not this place, not at all. And the people were rude, very rude. And the conflict of this whole situation is it's the same dentist office that I go to, it's just in a different location. So it was very hard to express my feelings when I was just like dumbfounded as to why I couldn't be there for my kid. And I'm sure someone's gonna say, "Oh, she's 16, she'll be fine." It's not always the case. You could bleed a lot, you could have complications, whether it's tooth surgery, heart surgery, toe surgery, it doesn't matter. It can be complications. There can be complications. So, I'm sitting in my car. I'm flustered at this point because when we went to the post-op, the lady kept explaining the stupidest things to Eliza. Like, over and over and over again. And when I say stupid, like, she was acting like Eliza was 2 and not 16. She was like, don't slurp out of a straw, which we know this, fine, that's part of it. But then she kept making all these slurpy noises and acting as if Eliza was 2. And Eliza and I kind of felt like, what in the world? Well, then I asked them, I called them the day before Eliza's appointment and asked them if I could go get Eliza's medication so that I didn't have to drag my child after having anesthesia to the pharmacy. And I didn't know what kind of medicine she was getting. I just knew that she was getting something. They were giving her 3 prescriptions. I couldn't figure out why. I guess I should have asked when she called. And so they said no, and I was like, okay, well that doesn't make any sense, because why would you not want someone to be prepared and not be miserable? Whatever, it was a pain medication, some ibuprofen, and a mouthwash. Whatever. And then she made a stupid comment. It was very rude. And I was like, what is wrong with this lady? on drugs? Because that's really how I felt. It's like she was on something, or she was just acting weird. You weren't making anybody comfortable by making obnoxious, weird sounds, or you should have been professional. She is 16. She can understand professionalism. Anyways, so yeah, so they wouldn't let us go get the medicine, which I thought was silly because I had to take Eliza after anesthesia and having a bloody mouth and all of this gross stuff that happens when you get your teeth pulled, your wisdom teeth, whatever, with me to the pharmacy. Yeah. And then they said, I remember when we were coming out, the lady said nothing about Eliza swishing with salt water. She didn't say anything about that. So one paper they gave us said use the mouthwash immediately the next day after surgery. And then the other one that they typed out and gave us said to use the mouthwash 5 days after surgery. So we have two discrepancies. I tried calling them 3 times, not once, but 3 times. And each time they never answered. So then I had to call my doctor's office, and my doctor's office actually, well, theirs, it's the actual dentist's office. They called and got a hold of them. So it's been a mess. It's been a complete mess. And then they said, oh yeah, the doctor or the dentist, the surgeon, will call you the next day to see how she's doing. It is 5 days after her surgery, and I haven't heard from the surgeon, only by me calling him. Nobody called to check up on her, make sure she was okay, wasn't having issues, nothing. So I told them I will not be coming back. There's a whole lot of, I wish I would have been able to record in the office how she was acting, because she was acting weird and not normal. That brings us to today. 5 days after her surgery. Her cheeks are swollen, she's in pain, and I'm calling the surgeon saying, hey, like, this is what's happening. And over the phone they try and diagnose it as dry socket. It's not. Eliza has been, when she was under anesthesia, she bit her cheek pretty bad. And so now there's a big sore there, and it's sticking into her mouth, so she's still chewing on it. And that's what all this fuss was about. Now, had someone told anybody that she would bite her cheek and it would be unpreventable, then I would have known. But I didn't know, because nobody said, hey, she might bite her cheek. I've never had my teeth pulled. Never. I've never had to take any of my kids to get teeth pulled. The only reason why she went to the surgeon's office is to get her wisdom teeth pulled. That's it. Nothing more. So, it was a disaster. And I tell you, it is for other parents too. Like, if you feel something is off, just leave. Just leave. Because that's what I should have done, and I felt bad because I thought about leaving. And I thought, well, I just drove an hour and 15 minutes away. Should I leave? Should I not? Trust your gut. Don't ever stay somewhere if you feel like it's not the right place. Because I did. And I've been going through hell trying to get her any type of help, except for through her regular dentist's office, which they are the reason why I got hold of the surgeon. Just trust your gut. Go with your gut.